Yo boys, FaZe Doritos here. Decided to do a video today to talk to you guys about TSG, how to live into melee cleaves. Also, the new patch rolled around. Wanted to talk to you guys about how does Warlock feel in the new patch? Does it feel the same? Does it not feel the same? Is it viable? Is it as good as the other Warlock specs? Questions like that. Breaking down information as well on ways to survive as a Warlock in ways that you guys could better understand it, because I know there's a lot of newer players that watch my videos. So let's get straight into the video. Okay, so this is one of the games that I queued LSP with my friend G-Cars and Wizspell. These two are some really good players on Priest and Shaman. And we played some Lock, Affliction Warlock to be specific, as we know, Ellie Shaman, and Dis Priest. This is not really the best comp, but we were just like homies. We're just playing around, seeing what we could do. And we're around like 2K, 2100 MMR on ults. And here's a game into TSG. Like, a lot of people always ask me, like, how do you do into Warriors? Like, what could we do differently as like lower CR players? Or what could we do to climb better into Melee? And this is the most up-to-date games that I have into Melee, you know, with the buffs to UA, 35% increase on backlash damage. You know, a lot of classes have been changed. Warriors' abilities have been nerfed. Some have been buffed. You know, a lot of different changes to the way Mortal Strike stacks with other Mortal Strikes, which is very interesting. So, you know, the game's changed a lot. This is a perfect video to show you guys how to kite a warrior, but at the same time, it's also a good video to show you guys what's changed with Warlock. What can I do differently as a Warlock player to win a game, you know, to achieve your win condition as an Affliction, and what do I have to do to win? So let's unpause this video and watch this game. So as we can see, the first button that you have to be worried for is the Unholy Frenzy, I think it's called, from the DK, which is what he popped like 20 seconds earlier. You don't really have to be too scared about it, but the most important CD that you have to be scared about on any class when you're versing TSG is Warrior when he pops Avatar. When a Warrior pops Avatar, you want to be actually thinking about your abilities, thinking about using your defensive cooldowns as fast as possible, unless your healer uses something defensively. Like, okay, let's back up. So, before I use Dark Pact, let's just back up a little bit more. So the gate's open, I set up my portal and my gateway. You see where my priest is positioning? It's actually great that he's positioning in front of me here, and it's good that my shaman's also kind of spread out for me. Let's unpause. So shaman kind of stacks me. I told him to not stack me here, but it was a little bit too late. There we go. So we don't stack and we move apart. He grips me, and now they can't like get a double sleet. Sleet is the DK ability, which CCs you. It's a disorient for 5 seconds, and it's AoE. It's undispellable. People can't stop it. The only way that you can stop a DK sleet is with a trinket, okay? Which you don't ever want to trinket. You want to trinket the stun, which they always do after it, okay? So DK pops his big CD, except for Slappy Hands. You know that thing, that green shit that they use, and they like grab everybody in. I just call it Slappy Hands. I called it Slappy Hands for so long, guys, that I really don't even know what the name of the actual spell is anymore. FYI. But okay, so DK pops his Abomination, Warrior uses Reflect, okay, so there you go. DK has cooldowns up, and now I'm kind of scared. I'm kind of worried here, and I'm talking to my priest. I'm like, yo, I use Dark Pact here, DK just uses Unholy Frenzy, and my priest is communicating my defensive cooldowns, and I'm like, do I need to wall soon? You know, I'm just like, I have my finger over the button, and I'm like, bro, I'm ready to go at a moment's notice. So let's unpause. So Warrior's on top of me. I try to Soul Rot. Always try to, you see what I'm trying to do there? I use Soul Rot to bait the kick. Look, now I'm locked on Nature. But you see what my next button press is? It's UA. And the big reason why it's UA is because I get kicked on Nature. Now I can use another Spell School. The biggest thing about that is if they kick me on Nature, bro, I'm like free to cast. I'm like, okay, I'm going to free cast other thing else, like another school. So let's unpause again. So there you go, I cast UA, I got kicked on that. So it doesn't matter, it's already got one kick. Now I Soul Rot. Next global drain life. There you go, top myself off. Now I'm like, okay, I'm free to do damage now. I use my Dark Lair there. Dark Lair so I could just amp my dots, keep my Soul Rod active so I could drain life if I get in trouble again. I still have PI on me for 2 more seconds. And I'm about to use Vile Taint. So guys, Vile Taint instead of Phantom Singularity for the talent choice, if you're versing DK and Warrior, it's actually really good into cleaves. Because right now it stacks agony and slow. So it puts exhaustion and slow. So I get gripped on it. They don't have a kick right now. So now they have a kick. I'm trying to fake. I get kicked anyway. Perfectly fine. Warrior charges me. Like, in my opinion, when I got kicked there, I just instantly felt like it was kind of a bad game already. I hold my wall. Always try to port before you wall. But honestly, the second the warrior tab targets me here is where I should have walled. I should have, like, already had wall, like, here. Here. You see how he has avatar up? This would be a good wall trade, right? Or you port. Like, the best thing to do here is either port or use wall. Ideally, port, because you could just do damage afterwards. There's no rush. But I get kicked. Never get kicked. The problem with UA lock is if you get kicked, you fall behind like crazy and you could die in a global. So it's kind of scary here. But as you can see, cooldowns, my healer still has PS, which is a 40% damage reduction. So I'm trying to walk away. I port. And the biggest thing here, I'm just trying to stall. I don't want the warrior to charge me here. So as you can see, the warrior uses leap. Warrior uses leap. I get gripped. I still have gate. So the second the warrior connects, I gate. I'm standing on it. MS hits me. I take gate. Actually, he grips me. Even better. So now I still have gate for warrior spear. So warrior spear is that ability that keeps you locked down. You can't move. But the only thing that you can do into spear, well, two things. Precognition allows you to walk out of it. And gateway allows you to, gateway the spear. And you can get out of it. So there's two ways you can get out of spear as a warlock. My healer gets feared on cast, and I'm kind of scared here. So I'm trying to fake a kick here. I get 2 kicks. And I cast Soul Rot. I see my healer's in a Stormbolt. He uses PS on me. I still have PS for 7 more seconds. But my next global here is going to be a Drain Life. There we go. Drain Life. You get a shield off the Drain Life. I always communicate to my teammate also that I have a shield off. I'll be like, shield off, so they're not too scared. There's Warrior Spell Reflect. There you go. I have precog up. And I just make the healer. This is where I use Focus Soul Swap. I was talking about it in a different video, and people were kind of confused. So basically, right there, I made my Focus the Resto Druid. So I can target the warrior, but soul swap the healer. This is a big deal. Once you start versing better players, the healer's going to try to LOS you when you try to tab target dot him, because he sees that your target of target is the healer. And they're like, oh, so I want to LOS you so you don't do things. But if you have him as a focus, they're not ready for it, right? They're thinking, oh, he's hitting the warrior, but you actually put dots on the healer. I always communicate to my teammate that I'm soul swapping the healer also, because it tells your teammate, yo, healer's a good target. He's viable to kill here. Or do pressure. Guys, remember, as a UA lock as well, pressure is king, and the most pressure you can get is by hitting a healer. Always communicate to your teammate that you want to hit the healer. Hitting the healer is how you win a game as a UA lock, and every time you hit them, it's like peeling a layer of an onion off, okay? You're not going to win the game when you hit the healer, but you are going to win the game in 2 minutes by hitting the healer, right? Every time you hit him and take him low, he uses Iron Bark, he uses Bark Skin. His teammate, which is the DK, could use AMZ, which is a magic damage reduction cooldown. Like every time you do damage into the healer, they have to exhaust a cooldown. Remember that. So soul swap the healer. Fake a kick. Soul Rot. And now I'm rapturing. You see how I'm standing there and just doing damage? When you guys have a precog up and you have full dots, don't be afraid to just do damage. Okay? Precog stands for precognition. That's the PvP talent that when you juke a kick, you're allowed to just free cast. So they're on top of me. I'm taking damage. I'm telling my healer, I have port. I'm communicating it to him, right? And he's telling me when to port. And he's like, all right, line the warrior. He's telling me to line the warrior, and that's what I do. I line the warrior until my Mortal Strike. Let's actually rewind for a second. You see how Mortal Strike is on me for 1 second? Here. I port. I try to line the warrior for a bit so he doesn't put Mortal Strike on me so my healer can top me. His Mortal Strike is 50% healing reduction. Remember that, guys. So your healer is exhausting a lot of mana to top you whenever the warrior is on top of you. So my biggest goal here is to get the warrior off my face temporarily so I can get topped off. So there you go. I walk away. I pulled out the DK. Now the warrior exhausts a charge, and I fake his kick. Now I soul rot, and I'm telling my healer, I'm like, okay, I'm fine here. I get a shield off of that. Cool. And I always communicate to my DPS, yo, bro, like, I have Soul Rot. I mean, I have Soul Swap in 10 seconds. I tell him that too. So I'm like, okay, in 10 seconds, I'm going to full dot the healer. And there I make a gate. And the reason why I make a gate, off the Stormbolt, he MS's me. You see I have MS on my party frame for 4 more seconds. I try to get away from the warrior here because I need my healer to have some space to breathe. He needs space to breathe. Warrior has Avatar again. And we just have to find a way to get this guy off of me. So I throw a gate. I do have port in 4 seconds. I have port in 4 seconds. I communicate to my teammate, I have port. I call the warrior. DK kicks me, I Dark Pact. And now I fake a kick, which means I can pop. I see I have PI on me. And the first thing that I think about is I need to get dots on these people. I need to get ahead. So I just put Soul Rot, I Vile Taint, I full dot both of them. And I get ready to Dark Glare, and I Soul Swap my dots to the healer. Boom, healer's full dotted. He tries to drink. This is not a good time for him to drink, though. We're going to be doing a lot of pressure here. When I ported, my healer told me to line of sight the warrior. He wanted me to line of sight the warrior to get MS off, like I told you previously. And he wanted to top me. That's why my healer's on my port. Also, guys, a big mistake that I realized with a lot of healers, if you guys are watching my videos and you're a healer, or you're playing with a healer that doesn't know how to position around an Affliction Warlock or a Warlock in general, you see where my healer's playing? The whole game, he's playing here, right? He's not on top of us. He's not chasing the Druid. He's playing here. And you know why he's playing here? Because my portal is here. Healers, if you're playing with a Warlock, you play near port. You always play near port. So when I port, he could actually heal me behind the pillar. If he's standing up here, though, if I port, I have to peek out, and now the warrior can charge me. But if I'm standing on port and he's standing on port, he can always heal me without the warrior touching me, which is good. So when I come off the pillar, I'm full HP, and my healer doesn't have to, like, you know, be scared for me to port. If your healer tells you you're line of sighting him because you ported, that means your healer's positioning isn't good. You guys need to tell your healers to be like, okay, you need to play near my port so I can use port. All right. And that also goes for in shuffles too. Make sure you communicate to your healers to play near your port if they're like not doing it already. So I line the warrior because I'm low HP and I'm like, okay, I need space for my healer to breathe. My healer gets kicked on penance and I realize that. And the first thing that I try to do is try to fake a DK kick here. So I fake the DK's kick. Now I have precognition up. The healer used Iron Bark on himself and I full fear him because he only has 1 dot on him. I know it's not going to break instantly. Now I Soul Rot, I eat a kick on nature and I just press Drain Life. I tell my healer I'm going to get a shield off of that, and he starts to heal me. Mind Blasting for healing, because he's a Disc Priest. And now I'm trying to get Shadow Fury on the DPS here. Shadow Fury to peel. There we go, double Shadow Fury into Vile Taint. I do have Dark Pact. I communicate to my healer, I have Dark Pact. And I'm going to press it high probably, the second they swap me. Or not, I'm fried. I used Dark Pact a little bit too late. I think, guys, when you have Dark Pact, ideally you want to use it here. I should have used it here because Dark Pact gives you a bigger shield the higher HP you are. There's no risk of it. There's no risk to do that. If you already know they're on top of you, there's no risk by just pressing it higher. So that was a big mistake by me, but I port, I start dotting the healer because he's on my pillar, and I walk away from the warrior. That's another big thing, guys. I realize I have Dark Pact, and I realize I have Wall Up soon, and I have Gate soon as well. So I just drain life here, and I'm telling my healer I'm fine here. Look at the enemy healer's mana. So, guys, there's 2 things you have to be doing when you're playing a UA lock. You realize your win condition is dampening, and you realize your win condition is whenever the healer decides to show his face and you like do damage into him, right? Those are the 2 ways you win. So, dampening correlates to mana bar. Look at this Druid's mana. He's less than 10% mana right now. Our win condition is very soon. Somebody dies on the enemy team very soon. It's just a matter of time. So I'm just telling my guy to be like, okay, we're going to just like keep pumping the DPS. And whenever the healer's out in our face, we just do the same thing we've always been doing. Tab target him and hit him. So let's unpause the video and see what goes on. I call the warrior because I see avatars up, right? 13 seconds left on avatar. This is a very scary moment for us. Because avatars, they're big CD. This is very likely their last go. If they don't kill us here, they lose the game. I gateway. I do have port. I communicate to my healer, yo, I have port. Right? And my guy, ooh. I didn't realize that. Look at what my Ellie does here. Look at this. Look at the Warriors HP. Lava, lava, lava. Oh my goodness. Lava, lava, lava. If you guys know the meme. So that Warrior almost gets one-shotted there. And now their healer's completely tapped after that last go. So I Soul Rot here. And this is honestly the end of the game. There's no way they live here, right? There's oh, yep, there we go. So we can just win the game just by dampening. Dampening hits, healers there's nothing they can do at that point. So if you guys play good, you play defensively, you can win. But also remember, you can't rely on dampening to always win your games as Affliction nowadays, because there's just other classes that are just better than you in dampening. So you guys have to realize that you have to create other win conditions for yourself. In my opinion, the best win condition as a UA lock is to try to get CC on the healer. Whenever you see the healer in your line, get CC on him. Try to put him behind. Put CC on him, full dot everything else, put him behind. Make him go like 10 globals behind if he's an R-Druid, because R-Druids have to always maintain HOTS. Okay? I don't know if this is a little bit too complex for you guys, but I'm trying to like make it a little bit more basic for people to understand. But yeah, to just talk about a game here, this is a game into TSG. I tried to analyze it to try to show you guys how I play into it. And this is on the latest patch too. This is on patch 10.07. And as you can see, like one of the biggest changes, let me see if I can find a UA Dispel. That's one of the biggest changes right now, right? So let me see if I can find a UA Dispel from the R-Druid. So I can show you guys like an example of how much like UA Dispel hits, right? Trying to find one. But honestly, that's like probably one of the biggest changes that Warlock's got, and that's a UA Dispel. Outside of UA Dispel being buffed, it feels like Warlock is kind of the same, but the MS changes kind of help you into other comps that really destroyed us before, and now they just destroy us less so, but you still struggle into it, right? And yeah, pretty much just like when you're versing warriors and stuff like that, kite their cooldowns, communicate with your healer about like what defensive cooldowns you have or don't have. Make sure your healer is confident with, you know, how much healing he has in a certain amount of time. And whenever a healer's out in the open, tab target and try to hit him. Pay attention to the enemy's mana bar so you can like focus in on when you win the game and how do you win the game, okay? And guys, that's pretty much it for this video. In my opinion, UA Lock is still like the worst Warlock spec, but you can make it work. I enjoy playing UA, and I just play it because I love it. And if you guys still like the spec, keep playing it. That's all I got to tell for you guys. And, you know, it might feel like a struggle out there sometimes, but, you know, just keep queuing that shit up. Keep queuing that shit up, and you're going to get better at it. Anyways, boys, thanks for watching the video, and I'll talk to you guys in another one.